Alright, hello once again, this is Jeff Scott. Welcome back to our Scratch programming class. And when we left off last time, I don't know if the program is the same. We have a game. It works. You know, we can make our monkey go, etc. One thing you may or may not realize looking at this is every time I press this, it's going 10 pixels. That's a lot. I'm actually thinking that that's going too much. So what I'd like to do is to stop the run here and go back to my code, and where I'm changing it by 10 and cut it down to about half of that. Make it go to about 5. So if it's, of course, if it's negative 10, it'll then go to negative 5. And again, this is the kind of thing that you are, of course, going to want to adjust on your own. Okay? There's no right or wrong answer here, just so you know. You want to make the game competitive, you want to make the game fun, etc. And these are all different decisions that you have to make. Well, I don't want that to be 50. Alright, as you're going through here. So again, you may or may not agree with what I've just done, but I'm going to do a file, save now, and I'm going to run the program again. And when I do, and I go through here, now he's only moving, the monkey's only moving about half as much as he did before. I like the way that that works a lot better. Alright, so I think it's almost time to go and start making some changes to this program. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to stop my run, and I'm going to do a file, save now, but after I do that I'm going to do a file, save as a copy. Alright, and I don't like the way that I don't like that name, so I'm going to call it now Maze 2, and I'm going to change the name to Multiplayer. Alright, and we're going to add that. So again, I'll do a file, save now. Yeah, I can get rid of that other one later. That's not a real big thing, one way or the other. But something that you might want to start doing is start thinking about, you might come in here and you might start thinking, okay, how fast do I want it to move? Do I want to add other things that are not in there right now? We're going to add some things in here right now. Okay? So, first thing I want to do is, since we're going to have 2 players, alright, I have to warn you if you do hear any noise in the background that A, my 3-year-old granddaughter is here. She's visiting with my wife in the other room. And B, my dog is in the next room because they don't exactly get along real well. So the first thing I wanted to do was I wanted to come in here and I wanted to add a new sprite. So I'm going to do that. So I'm going to choose a sprite. Okay, and I went through this list. I had a monkey, and I decided that for the other one, kind of liked the elephant here. Alright, so there that is. We're going to change the size. We'll do all that other good stuff that we've done with a monkey in just a couple minutes. But we now have that. But whereas monkeys like bananas, elephants like peanuts. So I looked in here under the choose a sprite, and I went over to the food category, and I didn't see anything that I thought an elephant would probably like to eat. I don't really know. Maybe an elephant would like a watermelon. I have no idea. Alright, so I decided, well, let's do this. So I went out somewhere on here to Google Images. Okay? And I decided that I was going to put in here something like salted peanuts. So I want a sprite that's got salted peanuts. And I looked in here, And most of these aren't really cartoonish. I could use that one. I kind of like this one because those are peanuts. So I'm going to try this, and I have not done this before, so I don't know if it's going to work or not going to work, but we're going to try it anyway. So I'm going to right mouse click on this, and I'm going to save the image as. I'm going to go to my desktop, and I'm going to put in here peanuts. So I now have peanuts.jpg in here. So when I go back and I look right here, there it is. And that's what it looks like. It's way too big, etc. I'm not worried about that. But when you are working with these files, rather than making this a JPEG file, the system is expecting it's going to be an SVG file. So I'm going to go out here and I'm going to type in free online.jpg to .svg converter. Okay, and it says there's a bunch of them here. Here's one, convert to JPEG, JPEG to this. I don't want you to have to install anything onto your system, so you don't have to do this if you don't want to. I would totally understand. You could pick something. You could just have picked something that was already out there, or try to find this. So choose file. I do want the JPEG to this, so choose files. So let's see what happens here. I am going to come back up to my desktop. I'm going to find my peanuts.jpg. There it is. I want to convert it to SVG, and I'm going to tell it to convert. Alright, so according to this, I now have peanuts.svg. I want to download that, of course. And let's show it the folder. There it is. And I'm just going to, come on. I am going to take it and put it right on my desktop where I'm doing everything else. So I'm going to move it there. Alright. Now SVGs are in a little different format, etc. So I'm just going to double click on it to look at it. That's what it looks like right now. Don't really like the way that looks. I wish I was in color, but hey, it's okay. Alright, so I want to see if I can bring in that as an additional sprite to my program. Alright, again, maybe I would have been better off using one of these that were here. I don't know. So we're going to sprites, and now we're going to go to upload sprite. Okay, and I'm going to try this. Again, I'm not sure if it'll work or not. Peanuts.svg. Okay, and there they are. So the first thing I want to do, and I can come back here and I can try to see if I can add some color to this, etc. Now that I think of it, it's almost the same color as my background here, but still, everything's fine. So there it is. So we're going to want that to go up there. Actually, we're going to want it to go down to the bottom of the screen, not to the top of the screen. So let's see. I believe if I start to run this, probably going to look really bad right now, and that's okay. Okay, so our monkey's there, that's there. We want to move these two things. So what we want to do, think about this. There's different ways that we can do this, but to me what seems to make the most sense is I want instead of the elephant starting where the monkey does, I want it to start up here, so it'll go in the reverse direction in the maze. So if I click on my bananas, you can see that's -12, 174. And when I click on the monkey, I can see that the monkey is size 7. So I'm going to look at these. So I'm going to click on the elephant here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move it up where the other one is. So I got the elephant, and I want to move it to -12, 174, and I want to change its size from 100 to 7. Okay, there it is. Now, first of all, it looks too small, so let's try to change it. Let's double that. Let's make it about 15. There's the elephant. Looks like he's about the same size now as the monkey, but -12, 174. There he is up there. Okay, so let's click next on our peanut. So there he is. Right now he's kind of blocking the bananas, but that's okay. So what are we going to want to do here? Well, let's click on this sprite. And let's see. We want to basically set it up the same way that we set up the bananas that were here. So what's the bananas? The bananas were they were of size 20. So let's first make peanuts size 20. That's going to knock them down by 80%. Okay, so there's the peanuts. I'm really not liking the way that this looks, but let's see. I'm just wondering if I should go and grab something else that's a different color. Let's go back to where we were. Peanuts. Yeah, I knew it would think of Charlie Brown there, but see, that's actually the kind of thing I want there. But it appears as though when I do that, as you saw already, it did not keep the color. All right, we could try a Mr. Peanut here. Go through the same steps I just did before. So we'll change this to Mr. Peanut. It's on the desktop. We just went through our converter right here. Let's see what this one looks like when it's done. So I'm going to choose Files, choose Mr. Peanut, and tell it to convert. Now, if this is white also, I'll just stop right there. Not a problem at all. Alright, so there's Mr. Peanut SVG. I'm going to do the same thing as before. Show it in the folder. Grab it and throw it on the desktop. Go to the desktop and then let's open it and see what it looks like on the desktop. See, I'm not getting any color. That's probably, it's either something I'm doing or whatever, but it should be a way that I can actually bring this up in the program. All right, and bring this sprite up. There should be a way that I can bring it up and change its color. Just not sure what that is, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Alright, let's delete this sprite. Alright, let's go back into our pre-made sprites and let's look. Maybe there's something else that the elephant would like to eat. let's just grab an apple, and that's fine. Alright, so we're going to put the apple down here. So again, I want to grab the same things that I had for the banana here. So I want the size to be 20. So let's go to the apple here, and let's change its size to 20. Alright, looks pretty good. I want it to come down here, so it's where the monkey is, so I want it to be under 12, negative 168. And again, that's good, because you can see it's now blocking what was there. Okay, so I now have my second one. Again, there's nothing special about it, so to speak. Okay, and actually I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the monkey here, and he's at 12 right now on the Y and negative 168. Let's try making this about negative 160. Now the monkey's a little bit, hopefully you can see that, above. We're going to do the same thing here for the elephant. Alright, I want to bring the elephant down a little bit, so let's try 172. How about 170? How about 168? Now you can see the bananas and the elephant. You can see the apple, and you can see the monkey. Okay? Not like this is a real big thing, but like I said, I just am doing this to get you started. Alright. Now, some things that we want to add. Well, right now we're going to have a problem. We can duplicate a lot of the code, but right now, technically, the elephant's already won because it's touching right here. So we got to make some changes. And one thing, and I brought this up and I added this as a slide, is we're going to use what's called the WASD keys. When you have two players, they can't both be sharing the arrow keys. So the W key will now represent the up arrow. The A will now represent the left arrow. The S will represent the down arrow. And the D will represent the right arrow. Okay? Now, as we do this, what I want to do is I basically want to take the monkey code that's right here, and I want to take it and I want to copy it all over to here. Alright? Don't know if we can highlight it. No. Okay. I think we can take it. I can take it and literally highlight the elephant. Boom. Now the elephant has got that code. Just a little bit of a shortcut. Let's go back to the monkey. So we've got all that. So we've got to add these two. So I'm going to click on this and drag that over by the elephant. And I'm going to click on this and drag that over by the elephant. Okay, so let's check and see what the elephant now has. Well, the only one thing is it kind of threw it all over the place, which is fine. There. Alright, our elephant, did we keep the size on the elephant 7? No, the size is 15. So, we want that to be 15. That should be good. Now, as we go in here, we don't want these to be right arrow, left arrow, etc. So we're going to change. Instead of right arrow, let's look again at the picture. So instead of right arrow, so right arrow equals A, up arrow equals W, down arrow equals S, and right arrow equals D. Alright, so let's start making some changes. So there's right arrow, which is now D. I don't want right arrow, I want D. Alright, I don't want left arrow, I want A. Okay, I don't want up arrow, I want W. Alright, and I don't want down arrow, I want S. So those are some of the changes that I have to make. By no means am I done yet. So I don't want to see if I'm not done if it's touching the bananas, it's done if it's touching the apple. Alright, we could still play a cheer sound. We could also play something else if we wanted. Alright, so in fact, let's do that. Let's go over to sounds. And let's click on here and let's just look at what we've got here for the sounds. Okay, well, an elephant plays like a horn. You know, when you hear an elephant talk. I don't think there's an elephant sound in here, but we can check. I'm going to guess there's not. Electric. No. How about a trumpet? What does that sound like? Oh, that's not really very good. I like something that's a little longer and it sounds a little better. We can use the cheer. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, but I'd like to have something a little different. How about clapping? So what's that as opposed to the cheer? The cheer sounded like this. And the clapping sounded. Okay, for now at least, let's try that. Alright. So as we jump back then into our code, we don't want to play cheer, we want to play clapping. Okay, we'll say, you can still say hooray I won, that's totally fine. Team. Alright, let's see. We haven't, there's some stuff probably still missing in here, but let's run it and see what we have. Alright, so here's our elephant. Well, he's not responding to any of these keys, so not a great start. Also, I can tell he's already too big, so I'm going to have to cut down his size. Again, that's, when you're doing this, I'm not going to say this is a one-time shot, but in a way, at least it is. So let's try to change the size from 15 down to 10. And we will do a file, save now. We've got our Maze 2 multiplayer, and let's run it. Well, that worked. Hooray, I won. That's working, but is this working? Okay, he's immediately being put down here, which is not what we want. The good news is our sounds are working, we know that. Alright, so we don't want him to go to 12,168. We want him to go down to here. Actually, we want him up here, which was negative 12,174. So we want this to negative 12, and we said we're going to cut it down to about 160. So let's try that again. There he is. Okay, it doesn't like my arrow keys yet. And also my monkey has got to be moved up a little bit. we'll fix that in just a moment. All right. See, this is a lot of what being a programmer is. Go up. So let's try that one more time. I just want to take a look. Whoops, I didn't want to do that. Darn it. Okay. My stuff. Let's bring up the 2-player again. Okay, see inside. All right. And let's just run this again. I just want to see when it starts. Okay, the monkey's on top. And that's down there. Good. And the monkey should still be working just fine. Good. So the monkey is doing just great. It's the elephant that's not doing a flaming thing here. So let's go look at the elephant's code. All right. Okay, here we've got get monkey ready. Well, that's the problem. We don't want to be calling get monkey ready now. We want to be calling get elephant ready. Okay, that's the first thing. So let's come down to my blocks. Make a block. Get elephant ready. That's right there. I now want to take that code and put it here. I no longer need this here. Oh, okay, that's fine. So I want to just take this. I'll leave it there. Okay, I shouldn't have done it the way I did it, but it's okay. So this call, hopefully I can remove. Okay, and now I want to call get elephant ready here and there. And I want to call it here as well. So all right. I don't know if that's going to make any big changes in the program or not. So save now. Let's try to run it again. And let's see. Those keys are still not working. This still works just fine. It is being put in the right area when it starts, so that's a good start. So it's time to go back and take a look at the elephant code to see what's going wrong. Alright, so here is my elephant code, I believe. Okay, take it and drag it up. And touching maze, Control D pressed, A pressed, W pressed, S pressed. Those all look correct. So when I come back in just a couple minutes, I'm going to go through the code line by line to see if I can discover where the problem is. Be right back to do that.